Hi guys, it's Carissa, and I wanted to record a video right now, even though it's super late. I really should go to bed. I'm tired, but I wanted to do this while it was fresh in my mind and while the emotions were still new, because I feel like it's so important. So I told you recently that Mike and I planned a vacation. We went on this vacation. It was wonderful. It was exactly what we needed. And I took a lot of time to reflect while we were there. We're looking forward at our future, and we have so much ahead of us, and we have so much that we're looking to achieve and accomplish, and we're taking a lot of risks. So when it comes to my everyday life, I feel like for the most part there isn't a lot that makes me feel bad or overly stressed out. It's easy to say that all of the doctor's appointments and all of the struggles with weight and with food and just everyday little things like that that can sometimes feel like really big challenges. It's really easy to say that those are a problem, but ultimately I'm prepared for that. I have been all this time working towards accepting the position that we're in and trying to make the best of it and trying to break through to the other side of it. And this has come up recently with friends and family members, and I finally took my own advice on something. And this message is to anyone who has a similar situation, and it's likely that a lot of you do. And I just want you to know that I don't think that this is necessarily the solution, but it's something that you should consider. I kind of broke up with a friend, and I kind of released myself from any guilt or obligation I felt towards her. This is a friendship that I've had for a very long time, which had become toxic almost immediately from the start. But there were a lot of reasons why I felt that I had obligations to her. She had a bad home life. She had a lot of problems in relationships, and I felt like I was a constant and a support to her. And in a lot of ways, I truly feel like we helped each other because I was able to kind of problem solve and work through some of the things that she was going through and use that towards other things in my life, and we kind of grew together. And I mean, I'm talking over 10 years. I've been friends with this person, but to my own detriment. And recently I felt like I had to hide things from her in terms of trying to conceive. I didn't want to talk to her about some of the things, and it wasn't because of her. I just didn't want to talk about them, and I didn't want to be made to feel bad about it. But surprisingly, trying to conceive isn't really the thing that broke this all up. It might have been one of the catalysts, but when it comes down to it, she was just a bad friend. She expected too much of me, gave too little, and was constantly scrutinizing me. And whether she wants to say that was the case or not, that's how she made me feel. So regardless of what it was that she thought she was putting out there, it wasn't mutually beneficial, and I stayed for as long as I did because I felt bad for her. She didn't have very many other friends, and the ones that she did have, she had problems with. But it got to a point where I realized that I was doing that all for her, and I wasn't really getting anything out of it other than frustration, aggravation. I'd give her advice and she wouldn't take it. I would try and recommend things to help her, and she wouldn't really listen. But she sure did want to complain to me, and I'm busy. I really am. I know I make time for things like YouTube, but I feel like it enriches my life in a way. I reach out to people who I feel like need it, and they have reached out to me, and it has been so beautiful. Some people I haven't spoken to again, and other people I have made friendships with and could consider them to be lifelong friends. I realized that going into IVF and potential weight loss surgery if that's in the cards. I'm going to be putting my body through a lot. I'm going to be trying to make myself healthier and trying to do everything I can to improve our situation. I want to eliminate as many stresses as possible, whether they're triggers for overeating or for eating poorly or just unnecessary emotional stresses. I don't want any of that in my life anymore, and I don't feel like I deserve it. I feel like I've put so much good out there, and I don't like confrontation, I don't like conflict, I don't create it, and I don't participate in it. And, if someone else were to come to me over the years with a similar situation, I would have told them very directly not to put up with it anymore. And I haven't all these years taken my own advice. Was it a big blow-up fight? No. But I was made to believe through some passive-aggressive messages that I was receiving that I had disappointed her yet again for whatever her own strange criteria in her head was for what she expected of me. And I'm older now than when we were, first spending time together and being friends. I can't really provide her with hours and hours of my time like I used to be able to. And I feel like that's a natural progression in most people's lives. They grow, they have more responsibilities, they have more strains on their time. But unlike her, I had so much more just in general in my life. I have a lot more family and my husband's family that I'm in contact with and see regularly. And I have great friendships that I maintain. And I have a lot of friends that I see less often than I see her that never treat me the way she does and never make me feel as badly as she does. So I'm releasing her. I'm letting it go. I can't describe how good that feels. I let myself have some time during my trip. I created some distance. I haven't spoken to her in a couple of weeks. I blocked her out of social media so that she wouldn't see what I was doing, I wouldn't see what she was doing, and it would just give us a chance to take a break. And when I was confronted tonight and I tried to explain that I just needed a little bit of space, I just needed to kind of figure out where things needed to go from here, I was belittled for that, and that made my decision that much easier. So I'm all rashy and I'm all flushed because this is really hard for me because I don't stand up for myself. I'm a complete doormat in so many ways, and that doesn't do me any good. And I recognize that, and I'm going to change it. And I'm not saying I'm going to go on a crusade tomorrow and start telling strangers how I feel and letting everyone know what my disapproval is, but I'm going to do what I can to protect me. And I'm going to consider the fact that some of these things that have burdened me in the past, I would never have allowed someone that I loved or cared about to be burdened by them. I would have told them very plainly, don't do it. Cut it out of your life. It's not worth it. And I can't believe it took me so long to reflect that back on myself. But I plan to do a lot to very holistically, very naturally improve my body, as well as, use diet and exercise, acupuncture, anything that I can do to make my body less hostile for a potential pregnancy. But beyond that, for the rest of my life, stress is so bad for you. And let me tell you, I stressed so unnecessarily about that relationship. So feeling as good as I do right now about it and about the decision I made, I just wanted to share it with you guys in case there is a chance that any of you have this kind of relationship in your life that is superfluous and you don't need it. Yes, there are some of you who have this kind of relationship and you can't make that kind of a cut. It's a family member or someone that's you're related to by marriage, or someone that you work with maybe, and you might not have this option. But just consider the fact that limiting your contact and doing the most you can do to reduce the strain in your life is still worth it. Don't expose yourself to the things that they say or the things that they do as much as you possibly can. Because if you are trying to conceive and you are facing a lot of potential treatments and procedures and you're going to be spending a lot of money on it, or even if you're not really spending a lot of money on it and you're just investing a lot of your time and your heart into it, it's all a waste if you can't kind of sit back and take a breath and feel like you've done everything you can to release yourself from all of that garbage. It's just not worth it, because you're so much more important than that. And the family you could have someday is so much more important than that. And you certainly won't have time for it when that happens. So just allow me to enjoy this moment and share it with you. But please take it to heart that this is something that I feel like I needed to hear a while ago. So hopefully, I can help push some of you in the process. Most of you are seeing this right now have enriched my life so much and made me feel less hopeless and made me feel like I'm not alone. And that's so important to me. So I want to thank you for that. I want to be here for you. And if you have any questions, if you need to talk to somebody, I am here. Because so many of you have listened to me when I needed to talk and made me feel like I had a safe, non-judgmental place to do it. So thank you so much. And I did take some footage of my vacation, but most of it, frankly, is just Mike walking around on the beach and, saying goofy things and not really doing much. It was truly as relaxing as we possibly could make it, despite the fact that we went directly to a tourist location. But I'll talk to you guys about that soon and about what our plans are and where everything is. I just needed some time to get back into the swing of life, pick up working again, and catch up there, and catch up on laundry, because frankly we had a lot of it. So that's it. But thank you so much. I really, I am so grateful to all of you, and I feel so good right now. I hope that at least one other person who sees this video can apply this concept to their lives and get this benefit, because it's so important. So thank you for listening to me, and I'm going to bed. Good night.